Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Monday Lunchtime Digest for September 22nd, 2025. Happy Monday, Haley.
Happy Monday, Micah.
It is so good to see everyone. We have a lot to talk about today. So, I would first just like to do a little bit of a check in on what is going on with the interim study. So, as you know, there's several interim studies to keep an eye on, but the ones that seem to have the most attention by mental health professionals is House Interim Study 25-018, which is by Representative Rosecrans. And so that is the one that is looking at um, managed care and mental health in Oklahoma. And right now, we're keeping an eye on it. It's currently not scheduled, but I have seen on social media where Representative Rosecrans has been asking for people's input on that. So if you're a mental health professional, you work with managed care in Oklahoma, then please send him an email and just let him know what your experiences are. We want to keep the email very matter of fact and also just give him the facts of your experience. If you hate managed care for mental health in Oklahoma, don't go on a rant and say it should all be abolished and we hate it and it's terrible. I mean, you can do that if you want, but I think that really what he is looking for is just really some specific instances to be able to say, here's where some of the pain points are, and try to figure out how to smooth out some of those pain points. Probably managed care for mental health in Oklahoma with Sooner Care or Sooner Select, whatever that they want to call it these days. Probably going to be here for a little while. It's probably not just going to get done in the near future. So it's more of trying to identify what those pain points are, let him know so that they can work those things out. So please consider emailing him and just letting him know those things. The other one that we're keeping an eye on is the Oklahoma Senate interim study, which is 25-077. And this is the one that is looking at studying consolidating medical boards. And right now, it too is not scheduled. And so I don't know if you recall, but several months ago, whenever we first heard about this, reached out to Senator Rosino's office and asked if that included the mental health boards, Oklahoma Board of Behavioral Health Licensure, the Social Work Board, Psychologist Board, and the LADC Board, Oklahoma Board of Alcohol and Drug Counselors. If those were considered part of the study, and their office responded back that yes. And so they are looking at a whole bunch of different medical boards, seeing how they can consolidate them, and they are looking at our behavioral health boards as being part of that. And as we've talked about in the past, in Monday Lunchtime Digest, there's a difference between being an independent board, which we currently have, and then being a board that is under a larger entity of some sort. And of course, there's people that are for either one of those type of scenarios. But I think for the most part, at least most people that I've talked to, and Haley, I don't know what your experience is, but most of the mental health professionals I've talked to prefer us continuing to remain an independent board where we're not under some type of larger entity. So if you would like to email Senator Pugh or Senator Rosino and just let them know that you're available if they have any questions, what your wishes are as far as it remaining independent, or if you think it would be better for it to be under a larger entity, then let them know that too. But that's just something else that we're also keeping an eye on. So the other things I've just been watching, Haley, is first of all, this story in the, I found it on KOSU, but it's actually a reprint from the Frontier. And so it's talking about how harm reduction law is inching toward expiration. And so currently harm reduction programs are legalized until 2021 in Oklahoma. And if you're not familiar, those are programs that allow these organizations to give clean needles to other people who are using substances to help protect them, keep them safe, the spread of disease, the syringe programs, other types of harm reduction programs, and just programs to, again, try to provide clean I was going to say utensils, but clean equipment for people in their drug use. And so that is legalized in Oklahoma until 2021, or excuse me, it's legalized, it's authorized until July 2026, excuse me. And so if it's not extended, then those programs will either have to shut down, or if they continue to operate, they risk legal challenges. So right now it's authorized until July 2026, but if that is not extended, then those programs are going to go away. So that's something that we definitely want to keep on our radar. And then the other thing, a little bit of good news as far as my part here, is that the Tulsa's Alternative Response Team is expanding. And so they are adding more mental health professionals to their team, as also more paramedics to their team. And so if you're not aware, this is an alternative team that goes out rather than police being called out for every single call. They send a paramedic and a mental health professional to meet with people that may be in either physical distress or mental health distress. And according to the article, 60% of the calls that the ART team received needed a mental health professional. And so they're expanding their services from 4 days a week to 7 days a week. And so that is nice to see a program that is expanding in Oklahoma for mental health services. So that is what I have. Hayley?
Well, and so
what types of things do you have to share with us?
Mike, I think you cut out for a second to make sure I heard you. Okay. Would you say what kind of things do I have to share? Let's see. I'm not sure if Mike is still connected with us now, but I'll start sharing what I have on my agenda for today. And so, one, Micah had talked about, the Tulsa program expanding. I think, as Micah said, it's nice to see a program that has been expanding because, as we know, the Oklahoma Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services has recently announced that they plan to cut the contracts of 300 out of the 800 contracts it currently has with providers across the state. And as we know, there are organizations in Oklahoma that are funded, if not primarily, but a large part of their budget comes from ODMHSAS. And so affected programs are things from OCARTA to Parents Helping Parents to, some programs that are overseen by things like Grand Lake or Red Rock. And so these services are at risk of being cut if contracts are not renewed or something's not done by October 1st. So as of right now, these programs have about 8 more days of funding until those contracts are cut. It was announced today on Fox 25 News that ODMH Interim Commissioner Greg Slovanik is having a meeting with Governor Kevin Stitt today to talk about these program cuts and what maybe the next steps will be. Now, it's not quite known what is on the agenda in particular, or if this meeting is going to, spearhead any kind of resolution to get these contracts filled again. But hopefully with the opening of the dialogue, some problem solving could happen, because the loss of 300 contracts will significantly impact, mental health and well-being of Oklahomans. And so that is some hopefully good news. We'll have an update by next week. But something else that's going on a little more locally for those of us who work in Oklahoma County is that tomorrow, Oklahoma County Commissioner Jason Lowe is going to be having a town hall on the topic of mental health, the Oklahoma jail, and the unhoused in Oklahoma County. And so this town hall is going to take place tomorrow, Tuesday, September 23rd at 6 p.m. It's going to go from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. It is free. It is open to the community. It's going to be at the Bell Island Library. And Commissioner Lowe is going to have individuals represented from many different organizations. He's going to have folks representing the jail, folks representing mental health, folks representing infrastructure in Oklahoma. He's going to talk about the county's mental health response in jails. It's going to talk about, possible new jail. And so there's many different things on the agenda. And so if you or your organization feel like you are a stakeholder in that and reside in Oklahoma County, that might be a good time to have your voice be heard or to get some of your questions answered, because there's going to be a lot of folks on that panel. And so again, that's tomorrow, Tuesday, September 23rd at 6 p.m. at Belle Isle Library. And so that's what I have as for Oklahoma news, but I do have a few announcements for our Oklahoma Counseling Institute. Would you like to move right along, Micah?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Awesome. I saw you're moving again. So I was like, Micah's back. Cool beans.
Yes.
He's back. So first of all, next week's going to be a full week for the Oklahoma Counseling Institute because, first of all, next Wednesday, October 1st, from 5:30 p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m., we are going to have our next Whimsical Wednesday. And so, Whimsical Wednesday is an opportunity for mental health professionals to meet and to unwind and to have fun. You can be a licensed professional, you can be a candidate, you can just work in mental health in general. This is a space for us all to just get together, connect, and have a good time. And so next week, we are going to be meeting at Community Acts, and that is located down in Oklahoma City. I think, let me find the address real quick. Community Acts throwing at 1137 Northwest 2nd Street. And so down on 2nd Street in Oklahoma City, about 2nd and Western. And so it is free to attend. We don't charge. Folks will have to pay for their own drinks or admission if they want to throw axes or throw knives. But as someone who recently went to this place, it's different than the others. So most axe throwing places, they just hand you your axes and they say, "Best of luck, my friend. Enjoy throwing axes." But these folks actually give you lessons in axe and knife throwing. And Micah, I was pretty good at the knife throwing. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, really?
I hit my target. My spouse was a little nervous and surprised at how well I was able to throw knives. So,
well, was Delton standing up against the target with his hands outstretched while you were hitting knives around him, popping balloons?
Not this time. It was only about 30% accurate. So once I get
not this
like
time, but wait, accurate, Delton, maybe next time.
That's why we're having our next event at the Community Axe throwing, so that way I can get more practice in. So if you'd like to come get your practice in as well, join us for Whimsical Wednesdays, October 1st, next week from 5:30 to 7 p.m. at Community Axe Throwing. And so also next week on Friday, October 3rd, we have two live trainings coming up. And so if you are an LCSW, you need those live hours and your license is due here in about 12 weeks, or if you're an LADC who needs those live hours, or if you're just wanting to get a head start on your renewal for next year, join us next Friday, October 3rd for two trainings. In the morning, we're going to have Laura Byler, LPC, having a 3-hour general education training on introduction to dialectical behavioral therapy. In the afternoon, I'm very happy to say we have Dr. Frances Patterson, who literally wrote the manual, the SAMHSA manual on treating marijuana addiction. She's going to be doing a 3-hour substance abuse specific training on marijuana addiction or THC addiction in adolescents and young adults. And so if you're interested in joining either one of these live trainings, or if you want to see our entire lineup of live trainings that are going to occur between now and the end of the year, you can go to counselinginstitute.org, check out our live events, or click the first banner that says save the dates for our upcoming trainings. On top of all of that, we have, I think I counted last week, Mike, I think we're up to about 212 hours of continuing education in our on-demand catalog. And so if you don't want to join live, that's okay. We have plenty of opportunities for you night owls or folks who like to work on the weekends. And so go to counselinginstitute.org, go to that CEU tab, and you'll find all of our on-demand and live trainings coming up.
That's right. And, as everyone knows, those are all approved by the Oklahoma boards for LPCs, LMFTs, LADCs, and LCSWs. And then we are also an approved provider for NBCC. And so many of those count for NBCC hours. The ones that don't count are clearly marked. But if you have a friend or colleague, or if you're licensed in another state, have them check with their boards to see if they accept NBCC credit, and a lot of them do. So have them check with that and then send them our way for some high quality continuing education at a reasonable cost.
Absolutely. If you ever have any questions or if we can help in any way, send us an email, hello@edmondcounseling.com, or shoot me a text at 405-440-3034, and we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Yes, and then also just what's going on at Edmond Counseling and Professional Development. And so most people know we are a provider a facilitator for Smart Recovery. So Smart Recovery is an alternative to 12-step programs, AA, if you have a client that AA doesn't work for them, but is needing a free peer support group. We have one on Thursdays from 6 o'clock to 7:30, and that is live, and also it's hybrid, so they can join us online or in person, and they can find information there at smartedmond.com. Then we also have a family and friends meeting, which is Smart's version of Al-Anon. So if you have a client that is a family or friend of someone that would like a free support meeting for people who have a loved one who is dealing with addiction of some sort, then they can come to our Smart Family and Friend meeting. And again, it is in person and online. Information for the Smart Family and Friend meeting can also be found at smartedmond.com. Also, we are doing career assessments. So if you have a client that's over the age of 18 that's not sure what direction that they want to go career-wise, then we do a 2-session career assessment to help them identify what their interests are. These are evidence-based assessments to help them narrow down their interest in possible fields of study so that whenever they walk away, they have a better direction of what type of career path that they'd like to go to. And then also we do organizational wellness training. So if your organization would like for us to come in and do a training on burnout prevention or other stress reduction, other types of wellness trainings, then please reach out to us at hello@edmondcounseling.com or 405-440-3034 and talk with Hayley. And Hayley would love to talk to you about our organizational wellness training offerings.
Absolutely. I'm standing by to take your call, right? I'm a millennial, so I always have my phone on me, so be sure to reach out.
And all these services can be found at edmondcounseling.com. So certainly go there and check out all that we have to offer here. So, Hayley, who is our winner for this week?
So our winner for this week, drum roll please, is our good friend Amy Huseman.
Hey, Amy, congratulations. And so Amy has won more than one time. She has won multiple times. She's maybe one of our most frequent winners. And how is it that Amy is able to win so much, Hayley?
So Amy last week liked our last post and commented her answer to last week's question. So if you want to be like Amy, you can do one or all three of three things. You can like this post like Amy did. You can comment on this post, or you can share this post. Each time you do one of those three things, not only do you help us grow, you help us be seen by others, but you also get entered into next week's drawing. And so if you'd like to be like Amy, first of all, Amy, you need to buy a lottery ticket, my friend, because you win quite a bit. If you'd like to be like Amy, if you'd like a high chance of winning, do one or all three of those things, and we'll hopefully see your name pop up next week.
Yes, we'd love to have you be a winner next week and be like Amy. So, Hayley, what's our question for this week?
So our question for this week is, who is your favorite actor or actress? And so, Mike, I want to ask you first, who's your favorite actor or actress?
Oh, man. My favorite actor is Edward Norton. Mm-hmm. And that just goes back to Fight Club because that is my favorite movie of all time. So Edward Norton is my favorite actor. Probably Tom Cruise would be second. And then if we were looking at actress, goodness, I don't know. Sandra Bullock comes to mind, but I don't know if she's been in anything lately. But I do like Sandra Bullock a lot.
Both good choices.
Yes.
Do you know the first rule of Fight Club?
Oh, well, I know you're not supposed to talk about Fight Club, but I know that we were out at a lunch at Woodward Pizza, and you asked me something like that. And me, I think I know Fight Club pretty well. And it's like, do you know what the rules of Fight Club are? And you have them all down because you have the Fight Club poster in your house. Is that right?
I do. In the first two rules of Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club. So I'm already breaking those. So I have the rules. I break them.
If you want to know all the rules of Fight Club, just talk to Hayley. She will let you know what they all are. But yeah. Hayley, how about your favorite actor, actresses?
I think my favorite actress is Emma Stone. I like her because, well, first of all, I grew up with her. So she started to become famous in like the teen movies whenever I was a teen. So like watching her in Easy A, and now she is, a grown-up professional 2-time Oscar-winning actress for things like Poor Things, which is one of my favorite movies of last year. And so she's really a versatile actress. But again, kind of grew up with her about the same age. And so as my taste in movies has developed and matured, so has her career as an actress. So I like Emma Stone.
All right. Well, fantastic. Well, list what your favorite actor or actress is in the comments below. Like, share this post. Whether you're on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, you can find this live stream there on any of those platforms, and you will be entered in to win for continuing education.
Yes, and so thank you all so much for watching today. Thank you for your support, and we hope you see you next week.
All right, everyone, have a good week. We'll see you next time.
Take care.